day-to-day responsibility.
Okay, but
Paul was taking care of the financial end of it. I take care of mostly the.
But wouldn't it be good business practice to understand, on top of whatever it is someone's making, they're making another $10,000, $5,000, $1.50 from the water pollution company?
Yes.
Wouldn't it make sense? Why don't we list it somewhere? If the treasurer is making $70,000 a year and is making $13,000 from the water pollution, she's making $83,000. I mean, I'm a fan of everything should be just one, but I can't do that. But I mean, that certainly makes a difference, and it's all done during town time, more or less.
Well,
Jerry's
not on the clock.
but you know, you show up at 8. I'm not picking on, not you,
No, I know.
but someone shows up at 8 o'clock in the morning, goes home at 5, and one couldn't say, did someone spend the day or the morning working for the water pollution company or working for the town of Putnam, because the hourly salary is $1 and someone's collecting 50 cents an hour for the. I mean, how do you figure this out?
Let me show you.
We can do that during discussion. I think we start this meeting.
Okay.
All right.
You know, I want a finance special meeting to order, March 28th, 2013, 7 o'clock in the Daniel S. Rivera Selectmen's Chamber. We have unfinished business to do, and I'm sure there'll be many discussions on this. The first is the library budget for fiscal year 2013-2014. Vote possible action. I thought we approved that budget as presented.
We did.
Okay, so that's taken care of.
I didn't know whether you wanted to.
Yeah, well, that's okay. That's fine.
21 is for the...
The library board budget's up $21,000. Okay, Board of Education budget for the fiscal year 2013-2014, vote required. And before we start discussing this or making a motion, I did go up to the middle school parking lots and walked all over the parking lots. And first of all, did we receive any bids, or are they obligated to have 3 bids as well as the town?
There are, my understanding is they are obligated to go out for
I thought they had a
bids
policy.
for that project.
Okay, and that was the low bid?
No, Tony. It was, I'm not sure what they based their information on. Somebody may have given them off-the-cuff quote at one particular point, but it never went out to bid.
So they'll go out to bid,
it's
so
an
it's,
estimate.
yeah.
You know, again, you know,
It's not even an estimate.
last week, not our last meeting, but the meeting before last, you know, when they wanted to put the cameras up, and we asked them how much, and they said $60,000, they think, and we asked if they had a bid, they didn't, but whatever it was, under 60,000, they'd send the rest of it back to us. I don't think that's a decent way to do business. I mean, we don't give Jerry or yourself $150,000 for a truck. I mean, I assume you went out to bid to wherever you're getting the trucks from, and they give you a number. And at the end of the day, if you save money, that's great, but if it costs more, it isn't. It's still $150,000. But it isn't, hey, I think it's that, and if I can get it cheaper, fine. I mean, I don't think that's a good way to do business.
In the summer, did they contact Jerry Bosley? Can the town do that? I mean, the parking lots themselves are fine. What's a disaster
I don't think
is the long driveway that goes up and the sidewalk.
I don't think we have the equipment anymore, Tony, to be able to do that. Most of our paving is contracted out today.
SAS.
Yep. SAS, yes, exactly.
And I'm sure SAS can do it cheaper than...
What happens is
prices.
we work with SAS. We provide, staff to them, which helps reduce costs.
Okay.
I mean, I think that's a difficult way, especially on over $250,000 to do business. It's more or less, I think it's going to be $350,000, but if it's less, okay, and if it's not, that's just terrible.
Yeah.
And if Hull was here, or whoever, Morrow was here, I mean, they wouldn't do that type of business at their house. You know, fix it, whatever it costs, okay.
I can't qualify what they put in there, to be honest. I can't.
That's under capital. That really bothers me. As far as the regular budget, I went through this with a fine-tooth comb. I also read and reread and reread their priority grant, of which was 1.1 million, plus they got another 700,000. So if you add up the 3.8 million plus 1.7 million, just in grants, that's over $5 million, plus the $16 million we gave you. To educate a child in Putnam, I think it's expensive to send a kid to Yale or Harvard. That's number one. And number two, a lot of their reason the priority grant is state funded, must be spent in the following initiatives. And a lot of these initiatives are special ed initiatives. Whether he used it there or not, I don't know. We never got a breakdown of what he spent the $1.7 million for. And they'll say under the state, we don't have to give you that information, which I think is BS. But anyhow, enrollment's going down. The high school is less than 300. The middle school population is 250 some odd. The only school that's bulging at the seams is the elementary from K to 4. Okay, so I really don't know why he needs to all his furniture. And I made that statement about they ran an IEP. They're always throwing special ed. Here's a kid who before school started, they put 3 air conditioners in 3 different rooms, got a special air conditioned bus, had to buy special furniture, and the kid says, we're not going there. After they did all the work. Now, come on. And that stuff you got to be ready for. And stuff like that really irks me. Because I dealt with this for 30 some odd years in the business, and no kid gets cheated at the high school. I think they have a surplus of teachers. Administrators, there's a plethora of those guys.
I think
They're all women.
it works both ways, Tony. Again, and I know that you're an educator, but it's also what the student puts into what they want as well. I've seen that firsthand.
Peter, he just hired a social worker for the preschool. He hired a special education teacher just for preschool. Plus, there's one for every grade. I mean, how many of these do we need? You're talking at least, the starting salary is $45,000 next year, and that's for just a BA degree. To be a special ed, you got an MA, so you're talking about over 60 grand. And it just, I don't know. And I'm going, special ed to me holds the entire school system hostage. And I don't want to know about the federal laws protect the right, but I think there's ways to cut the costs down. Then on one hand, he says to bring in kids back into the system and save $50,000 a kid. And then with special ed, he wants another 700% increase, which to me it's insane. So with that said, and he's asking for an extra
564, 555.
Yeah, 564.5. I think the general government budget is down 300,000, and I think 300,000 should be chopped off of his request. And I think there's more than enough money because you get the priority grant again next year with a 1.1 million coming in. And I don't think the kids they're going to hurt the children. I don't want to hear that.
I'm sorry, Tony, what was the number?
300.
I'm going to put that in motion. I move that we take $300,000 off the Board of Education budget.
I second it.
They're still with an increase of over $200,000 with the enrollment going down.
And with all the money they have that you don't know about.
Well, I don't want to get into your line items on the Board of Ed or how much money they have. I mean, there's very good people doing on the Board of Ed and they're working hard. But having said that, I think that they work very hard on their Board of Ed and came up with a good budget. I don't think this is the year to see a mill rate increase when we're going to, the week before, they're presenting the brand new
That's the whole,
the school.
That's the whole point about it.
So, I'm kind of agreeing. I mean, I was at 280, but I'll go to 3.
I had 282, but it's close enough.
I mean, just because that will keep us even with their,
Right.
you
I had
know.
282, but 300
And
is very close to
basically,
that.
Peter and Doug are saving them because you're going lower 300,000 is saving to give them, I mean, not that you did it.
Well,
but-
With less money to work with.
Yeah.
They'll only buy your up.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's a fair adjustment. If the general government goes down 300,000, they should go down 300,000, and they still have more money than they had last year. And the town can't get the grants they get. That's all I'm saying on that. That's my motion.
Well, I second
You got a
it.
second?
Yeah, oh, good, thank you. Any more discussion on that?
No, and, and be redundant.
Okay. Seeing there's none, all in favor of sending the Board of Education budget at $16,459,911 to to the townspeople, which would represent a $300,000 decrease in what they originally asked for, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Ayes have it, so voted. General government budget. General government budget is down $305,000 and is presented at $4,391,291. Is there a motion to accept it as it is, or is there a motion to reduce it, or is there a motion to add to it?
You're talking on the general government.
Just the general government, not capital improvement.
Well, there are some issues in there that we started to discuss, and I think we really have to dig on to some of these to remove them.
The mayor and I talked, and we could present you with some items. I don't know what the total is.
Okay?
We have a very large calculator in front
Yeah,
of
I
us.
have.
Somebody's gonna bring one for that.
Kathy got hers.
Okay, we're adding 500.
Adding?
Well, that's, you're adding that. You added for the clerk salary, so that's a 500 extra. So,
Okay.
am I calculating, or Kathy want to do it?
No, you have to do it.
What about the tipping fees?
One at a time, let's one at a time, let's get one thing at a
Let's get
time.
Doug Cutler with all his cuts so far.
Okay.
We've got 500.
No, add 500.
Yeah, add 500.
But now we're going to come with the cuts between Richard Peter Place and Doug John.
On the town clerk, we're going to cut 3,000, was it 3,000?
3,000, we're going
What
to
page
reduce
is that?
line item,
Page 7, my page 7,
yeah.
your page 7?
account number 5803.
And what's
We're
that
going to reduce it
for?
from 8,000 to 5,000.
Page 7.
That's town clerk.
Town clerk.
55,352. Well, the other one is
What line item?
5736.
5803, volume binders and restoration.
Yeah, that's the one okay, that's the one I brought up.
We reduced to $5,000. Also, line item 5614, microfilm land records, we're going to cut from 15,000 to 13,000. So $2,000 there. And 3,000, minus $5,000.
So 5 and 2 on that page.
Yeah.
So that's minus 7.
Page 11,
Do you notice what number I had here?
Yeah.
no, that's minus 5,000.
Page 11.
Page 11, legal counsel, 5679, reduced by 2,500, with 3,000 down to 2,750.
Why did that go up like that?
Because we expect we've been using quite a bit.
We have a lot of,
We'll work within
What line item is that?
5679,
So you cut that by how much?
2,500.
2,500.
2,500. Okay.
Minus 2,500. Can I ask you a question, if I could? No, I'm not going to ask it. I want you to guys...
Let them keep cutting.
Keep cutting.
Page
Come
12.
on.
Page 12, town building.
Okay.
It took off $3,000 out of building repairs, 5640.
You took off the 3.
Yes.
Okay, I had that originally.
God, I hope you fix that assessor's office.
Go ahead.
That's pathetic down there today.
Go ahead, Pete.
Building official, we had a conversation about building official the
Page
other
13.
night.
Yeah.
And as much as, I haven't inked a change in here, we talked about bringing a building official in on a full-time basis. We still have the opportunity, Thompson is in a position where they're looking for a building official on a full-time basis. But Doug and I have the opportunity to talk with Pomfret at this point. We're not sure how far those negotiations will go, but Pomfret is looking to join hands with us to do something. Actually, we've sat down and had one conversation with them already. I'm not sure what the split will be for their needs, but we have that opportunity to do that.
Do you know if they have, they must have somebody, but
They
you
do.
don't know if it's part-time or...
They have...
Right now,
They use Lee,
they use Lee. In
1 day a week.
Off the top of my mind, I think Lee gets between $25,000 and $30,000 a year part-time.
So we're not far away from a half.
Yeah, we're not far away.
You know, one of the, it has to do with building. I mean, one of the things I said a long time ago to the former mayor when the evening that cut went for, and I said it wouldn't work. I don't want to sound like, and a lot of other people came the same thing, but, one of the things I think as a suggestion to Doug is that, you can hire a building official part-time, just like you do with Fred, and I don't mean he's gotta be a full-time, all kinds of stamps, for $10, $15 an hour. Have them work for 10, 20 hours a week, have them just report back to Lee or whoever the building official is, so that it is officially the building official which takes care of that charter nonsense. And, you can do that for, $10,000, $15,000 and, answer some of the questions that are put on that office about some apartment isn't right, or there's a sign, or whatever it is. I mean, there's a cheap way, there's a less expensive, not cheap way, there's a less expensive way of doing that, and maybe when you get that building official thing straightened out, maybe leave some money in there, say 10,000 or something along those lines, and that's $200 a week. I mean, that's 20, you don't have to pay the person benefits, you don't have to do anything, and maybe you could, somebody, I'm not saying Bobby should, I happen to like him, his picture was in the paper the other day, so that's why I remember.
1974.
Yeah, 74, wow. And looking back at what happened to him. And, use that money to do something like that to, I think you do need somebody to tell somebody to get the damn signs or whatever it is, or you can't be doing that.
We have had some conversations with Council of Governments and, joining hands and maybe sharing a building official.
But
with other towns, that's, but if you were to cut.
I don't think we're there now with the building of town governments. I mean, the building official, I think, the building official, which is by charter, the zoning enforcement officer, you can have a building official and a part-time building official, even though they're both part-time, and that type of thing, but the role of the part-time is to report to the chief building official, and pay somebody a couple $100 a week if that's going to take the pressure on Brenda and that, what's going on down there. Honestly, that's not her job.
We're not fooling anybody, he does a good job with being our building official. He does nothing as far as enforcement goes, and that's the issue.
Yeah. And I don't know if he's got the time to do it. And I don't think of
as part-time.
And I don't think that's a $30,000 zoning enforcement is a $30,000 job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But maybe you can do something with Tom. I don't know. Help us through this.
Is Thompson going full time?
Well, Thompson's proposal is to go full-time.
Yeah.
Again, they have to go before their Board of Finance as well. And that may be an issue with them as well, but my suggestion, if it can be a suggestion, is last year we were at 27,924. We went up to 60,000 in this budget, is to at least allot us maybe a little bit more money, maybe a total of $30,000, so that I have a little leeway in the event that we have to go out and look for another part-time building official.
That's doable.
Yeah.
So you're willing to cut that down to what now?
Well,
You had 60.
Yep.
And how
Well, at a total of 60, Tony.
Right, you went from 27 to 60.
33.
Page 13.
Page
Yeah,
13.
calculator.
That's what I got.
She's got.
We're at 27,924 right now.
Mm-hmm.
We asked for 60. I'd like to ask for 30.
Right there, I see what you're saying.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Minus 30.
Yeah. I have to
27,
minus,
27,
27.
Yeah.
9. What's the number?
27,924.
So what's the
2,076.
How much?
2,076.
2,000.
2,076 more than we had.
Yeah, but it would be a $30,000
reduction.
That's
reduction
right.
from your line.
30,000.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that's what I'm looking for. Okay.
The 30,000.
Fine, we're done.
Yeah.
All right. What do you got next?
So that's adding 30,000?
Well,
that's
increasing
subtract
from
from
27.
No,
That'll make it 60. That'll make it 60.
That's increasing from 27,924. That was last year's, or proposed last year's budget with a cost share to 30.
Okay.
What page you going to, Doug?
We're going to 14.
Yep.
Take out 2,000 from the 5502 part-time.
Okay.
I have it already.
Taking how much?
2,000.
2,000.
Essential services, I want to point out on page 15, 5610, the data processing, I'd like to keep that up there.
Yep. we're ahead of
Okay,
pay.
okay. Fringe benefits on 5511, I was able to reduce the bottom line on the hospitalization by 1%. So that's a reduction of $4,169.
Okay. Brings the total to 475,255.
You're cooking.
Social Security is still, that's just the way it is.
Well, we have to take a little bit of
Gotta pay what
variation
it
now
is.
that we
Yeah.
have to start to do with the
It's going to
building
be
official.
peanuts at that point.
Yeah.
All right.
Public safety, what's your pleasure?
Page what?
Page 18.
I would think at this particular point with the decrease in the Board of Education that this can be, eliminated.
Yeah.
The other part that makes me feel we have met part of the challenge in putting in additional cameras. So
It was
You know what, the
$45,000
other
in
thing
the
I
last
was
one.
thinking of, I was thinking of, why did they think of, Salem Point, why did they think of putting like a auxiliary cop?
They have
Using
several-
that instead.
They have several auxiliary cops, of
They-
course.
You know, I mean,
These guys are making almost nil.
But the thing is, did anybody think, when the special service district bought their share, 28,000, who was going to pick that up? Was the general government going to pick it up? Was the school going to pick it up? So we're left hanging.
yeah,
So-
you are.
So this is going nowhere.
I'll
really.
be willing to bet dollars to donuts of the 300,000 come from the Board of Ed, they're going to cut 28,000. So I think it behooves us to keep that in there.
I don't know.
I just say, they have enough money, if they need somebody, they can borrow the auxiliary guys. They can have the 110th Airborne there. Someone wants to come in and shoot somebody, they're going to shoot somebody.
well, especially as they're going to break it up between two schools, whatever that.
3 schools.
Three.
Well, yeah, but really, you got the
The
elementary
facilities.
and middle school down there, and you got the one up the hill, and what have you. So you can only be wherever you're going to be some percentage,
That's
70/30, 50/50, and what have you. You're not working in the summertime. You got the vacations off. You're not working then. You're not working this. You're on a 182-day school schedule.
If you're able to find somebody that's retired, it
Well-
benefits us, again, somebody that doesn't need the additional benefits as well, so our cost may be.
There's a fellow down at this Putnam PD. He's a retired trooper, and he's working part-time. I don't know if someone I'm not saying him, but someone,
Mike Picard.
yeah. And,
Or somebody like that.
And someone like that, someone said, hey, we're going to pay you, I don't know, whatever the hell it is. Between the two for 182 days, I don't know, maybe he'd be interested.
But what are we really,
Give 'em a bus,
what are we
extra
really
buses.
accomplishing if we don't have,
But I agree with you.
equal distribution throughout? We're not really accomplishing anything.
Well-
We can put another guy there, but you're gonna have one guy for 3 schools, that part-time guy. You're
It's,
not really getting anything out of it.
you're not.
You're not getting anything.
But it's an image that you want to.
Well,
Demonstrate.
that, and you may establish some things within the system.
Yep.
He may go in and see things, Pete, that he can take care of. He may see additional,
No, there's a good, I agree with Pete Place. Just by being there, he may stop a fight, because the kids know the cops there. But, I'm just saying, if we're the only entity that puts the 28 grand in, what's that gonna get you?
That's my point.
It doesn't get us any-
That's my point.
You're
That's my whole point.
So,
Can you put it in the budget? I know you can't caveat budgets, but, if the money comes from the town or from the city, we're there. If not,
Yeah,
we're just
can
not gonna
we
spend
agree-
it.
You're not
What
gonna get it
happens
because they
if you
cut
have
their
a
budget.
line item,
You don't have to
that
spend
line
it.
item in there,
Special
and you
service
can't
district
spend
is
it
already-
because
Yeah.
nobody else is going to do it? Can you move that somewhere else?
No.
No, it has to stay just for that
You
thing.
can move it at the end of the year to
Yeah.
account where we're over an account.
Yeah.
But it doesn't, but there's no,
We can't
but you
spend
don't
it.
have to spend it.
We don't have to
No.
spend
You
it.
don't have to spend it.
No.
I would just, to me, eliminate it because they're
Yeah.
not supporting this of it. And
I was
one
gonna
per-
say, if it can help
The only
you
thing I can
somewhere
think
else.
of is,
We'll get to that on the
Yeah.
other line then.
you want to take it out.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the out.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think it was such a.
Page 18.
18.
so that's 28 through 637.
The only other thing is I haven't had a chance to talk to Jerry Bosley, Public Works, but I need to have a conversation with Jerry as well. Part of the issues, and I talked about it again with Doug, is, they got a tire budget for each individual department.
Yeah.
And I'd like to be able to sit down and talk with Jerry to find out exactly who needs tires, what, when, and where, and what are these tires going to. And it seems like we've had, for a number of years, the same amounts of funding for tires. And do we go through all those tires? Do we? I don't know.
I mean, he's got 7,000.
Yeah.
And, the other
What
day,
page you on
the other,
2022.
22. They were talking about, the trucks there for the parks and recreations. I mean, that's 500 a year, every year.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna
That's the
cut.
only reason I brought it up.
And they don't run in the
before,
wintertime.
Was because we had never spent that kind of money going back to 2010, 2011.
I would have a heart-to-heart with Jerry when he returns on Monday to find out what I can take out of this budget and notify the Board of Finance.
We gotta get this done today because she needs
It's
to
gotta be done.
Well,
So you got $8,000 for tires
So,
between the,
Well, what I would suggest is give us or we tell you that we have to tell Jerry, we gotta find 5,000 to 10,000.
Well, pick a number.
Pick a number.
And we'll go from there. I mean,
Pick a number.
he'll love that.
We were 572 last year, and we've asked for 580. Let's
So
go somewhere
2,500.
over.
834
Let's
last year.
take out $4,000.
4,000.
Okay?
And the line item is 50,
And the total, so.
5720?
thank you.
Yeah, 5720.
Well, don't limit it to.
Well, yeah.
But it all.
no, because he's gonna,
Yeah, just.
it's gonna come, it's gonna be -4 on page
Yeah.
22.
All right, so we're just taking 4
Yeah.
out
So
of
let's put that on page 22.
page.
All right.
Well, I can tell you what I'd like to put in the budget.
Sanitation, can't do much. Economic development, we were thinking maybe we should reduce her somehow.
She's 10 up, right?
Yeah. Keep her salary the way it is, but, find some other place else to save
Right.
3,000, 2,000.
So what is this, about a $10,000 hit, Mike?
Well, she's at 40,
She's
but
up
49,103.
6,000.
She's going up
6,000.
I
59.
can't tell you, since we
3 or 4.
haven't spent much on legal fees, I feel comfortable with taking a couple $1,000s out of legal fees.
Well, let's, what are we saying about whatchamacallit here?
Is that
they said
St. work?
leave the salary.
leave the salary, to get other money out of there. Like
Keep her full-time
Right.
and take some money out from some of her other accounts. For instance, other professional services, 5,000. She's overspending on repairs and maintenance. I don't know what that's all about. Maybe that's something up at the landfill.
Or the industrial park.
Yeah, the industrial park.
So why don't we make a caveat that she takes out so much here? How much you want that number?
2,000?
2,000?
2,000.
Okay, you've increased the salary by what, 10,000? I'm sorry, I
10,000.
didn't wear my glasses.
So now she's at 35 hours
So,
versus
if you-
30. But it's
Okay,
10,
so
And she
then
gets a
she's
210.
already really reduced
One at a
all
time.
her other lines, hasn't she?
Excuse me?
She's already really reduced.
She has some, but I
Reduced
think
all
we
her
can
other
reduce
line
some
items.
others.
Okay.
So you're taking 2,000 out of her
Yeah.
account? Okay.
Can I ask a question? Why is, I don't know who she uses for an attorney. Is that Bill?
Right.
Well, why isn't,
Because she has special closings on the industrial park and everything, so.
can't be too many of them?
Yeah. Well, true.
but I mean, look at
Sounds
the
good,
numbers.
but not in reality.
Certain yeah.
What do you got next?
We're thinking, page 26, instead of going up as much as we did on the United Services and the Youth Service Advisory Board, reduce that
Line
by
item?
5686, and right below it, it's unnumbered.
Okay, youth services.
Yeah, reduce those by $1,000 each. So reduce 3,000 to 2,000 and 4,000 to 3,000. So a $2,000 savings.
I mean, the ambulance thing, nobody wants, I don't have to use it one of these days. But, I mean,
Tell us.
are we paying,
Actually-
is that, or, I mean, are we subsidizing, I mean, how's that,
We're subsidizing.
how does that
Well, the
percentage
rates are-
work?
Yeah, the rates are set by the state. Unfortunately, they've had a few losses over the, workers' comp losses over the last few years. And their rates have increased
Let me ask you something, how come that's not shared with the special service district?
because they're considered a separate entity. We tried to bring them under our umbrella a year or two ago. And when we went to the state, we went to Kermer, we found out that we couldn't do that.
Really?
So we have talked to Don,
Because they're
and we
not
have Don Williams and Danny to see if there's something they can do concerning legislation which would allow us to bring them under our umbrella. But my understanding is this is the last year of their penalties, so the rate should go down quite a bit next year. The warning that I want to give you is we haven't put any money away for an ambulance for the last couple of years again because their other costs have risen. So we need to get prepared to do that next year. Maybe, we
So
might not
maybe that's a
reduce
good
the
time.
line item by a lot, but at least it's going towards something that's physical and a replacement of something that we need to do. Normal ambulances are about a 7-year term, so if we haven't put any money away in the last couple of years, we have some money to make up.
We'll put it on the capital next year.
Also talked to John Filchek at COG, and someday, if the rates continue to escalate the way they are, it's not only going to affect Putnam, it's going to affect all the member towns. And somehow we have to react to that, whether it's joining resources and putting together and, again, doing something of that nature, it may be, but.
All right.
Okay, what's next?
So that was 2,000.
2,000, yeah. Outside agencies we reduced.
No, it was 2,000 out of the ambulance, no.
No,
It was 2,000.
it actually comes out, $1,000 came out of United Services and 1,000 came out of youth services, was it? Yes. Yeah, youth services.
Thank you.
Yes.
The one thing that bothers us in terms of the page 28 on the Parks and Grounds is we have not hired part-time payroll. So we're not going to hire them,
Why are we doing it?
why are we doing it?
So take it out of it if you're not going to do it.
If we need to do it though. We just have to, it's a management determination to do it. We just have to make sure that
Yeah, it gets done.
person gets hired.
Yeah.
Because we're increasing our maintenance in terms of the other beautification efforts we have around town, so we'll make sure that happens.
Right.
Okay, we got next.
Anything else on Parks and Grounds?
No.
Again, I don't mean to be, just pennies in this budget, fine, but gee, can't Jerry,
Yeah.
do that stuff? Why does they gotta go to Kelly Tire, or somebody's tire company to put them on? They got a garage up there.
Oh, yeah.
Put the tires on, buy 4 tires somewhere.
That's all I have to.
Anything in recreation?
The other thing is on page 32, which is the capital non-recurring one-shot deal. Take out the $25,000 for the town hall improvements. For the roof. That's not.
What page?
Page 32.
Anything on recreation on 29?
You tell us.
I don't know, it was 300,000.
I know.
It's, I just wondered if there's anything you had considered on that, your regular.
Well, one of the things, again, I think on the revenue side, we only get 15,000 in fees.
Yeah.
So is there some question maybe we should increase our fees? Because that's an awful big ticket item to be, you're only getting $15,000 out of it.
So we have to approach the Recreation Commission on that.
One of the largest items in the budget, with the exception of payroll, is other professional services. And I have no idea what that is.
Oh, in this case, it's the A1 septic for the skate park. It's all the outhouses for the parks, fields, and events. It's fees for entertainment and programs and referees.
Okay.
What did you have on 32 now? What was the total amount?
32 was 25,000 out for the town hall roof.
Okay.
And that gets us over 100,000.
You got the number there? Get them up.
106,306.
106, 306. So what would that bring your budget down to? Don't use that 25 on the capital. So I know you're down 305,000. So now you're down 400,000. What would that make your number for your general government budget?
Hold on a minute. $4,284,985.
That's your new total.
That's my new total.
Yep.
Okay, now to our favorite items.
Well, let's wait, we got to do a motion to accept that, or leave it as is,
Well,
or you want to make one?
Capital be a second.
yeah,
Capital last.
yeah, capital last, but everything is gonna be predicated on capital as to, I'm okay with this here, but I don't know if you wanna go ahead and approve it, but.
Yeah.
All right, make a motion.
Motion made to approve the budget for general government at $4,284,985, which would be a reduction of $411,000. Is there a second? Motion second. Any more discussion? See none. All those in favor of approval?
Aye.
I didn't finish the second motion. All those in favor of approving the general government budget for 2012-13 or 13-14 of $4,284,985, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Ayes have it, so voted. Okay, now we go to the capital. So with that 25,000 out of their capital is now 1,331,000. Is that correct, Mr. Cutler?
That's correct.
Okay, now, I asked Doug to do something, and he did a marvelous job.
$1,300,000.
Of,
$1,356,000.
will that screw up your whole thing now?
No. This $1,356,000?
No. The 1,331,000 is capital. Right?
Where'd you get that?
But it was 1,356,000.
Yes, $1,356,000.
Okay, then you just took out 25,000.
No, we took the 25,000 out of the one-time, not capital.
Oh, okay, I got you. So it's still at one, okay, I got it now.
Yeah.
Okay,
This
so
is the
Doug-
5-year capital plan,
Right.
which is
Different than.
different.
Right. So we have this, and if there clarification is needed, Doug is more than happy to provide. How will this affect? So instead of the nut being over $1 million for capital, the nut would be what?
98,000.
98,000.
If you accept one premise, one of the scenarios.
Go ahead.
Okay. What I did is I took the 5-year capital improvement program, I took all the major items related to bridges, roads, middle school parking lot, and economic development. I did not include vehicles, and I'll explain that in a minute. I took out the little items like the 15,000 for the
Paint.
Paint job?
the 7,500 for the town website, and the 37,000 for the town hall renovations, and the 50,000 for the new equipment replacement. On that basis, using those, and I took the 5-year capital plan and the numbers for those items over the term of the 5 years, and that came to a total of $2,710,000. The vehicles alone over the 5-year period, and that's buses, the amount of buses that had been requested in the past, the dump trucks, what else did it include? Dump trucks, oh, the one-time bucket loader, and the sweeper, came to, I think, $1,300,000. So on that basis, just the capital improvement program of the 4 items I mentioned, it came to 2.7 million, and then I broke it down by each of the years. So you notice that in year 2013, 2014, you don't have this, but I do. It's $928,000. In the second year of the 5-year capital plan is $528,000. Third year, $528,000. Fourth year, $367,000, and then the 5th year, $350,000. So I told, then I provided this information to Cheryl. I said, give me an amortization schedule out over 10 years, showing what would it cost the town if we were to bond this. And when I mean bond this, what I mean is we would use the $4 million that we have accumulated in the ash landfill account, and use that as a source of our funding to borrow against to pay for these projects, and then to pay us back over a period of 10 years. I also had to run a 5-year schedule. So if you look at your,
Can I stop you just for
Sure.
a minute, please? You rush over all these capitals. Can I get an understanding of which ones you're keeping and which
Okay.
ones you're not?
okay,
Can I-
bonds, yes, you can.
You got a copy of that? You make a copy.
Do you want me to make copies?
I don't have that either.
All right, why don't you, someone go pop it in the machine.
Yeah, all I have is the capital, and I don't have,
Okay.
I don't have
Just a
that
second.
nifty little
Yeah, but
sheet.
what you say, Peter, is right. I mean, you know, if you're talking about, you're talking about one truck, two trucks.
That's what I want to
I mean, we're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trucks over 5 years. Plow trucks. I mean, we just bought 2, so we're going to have 7
It's a
now?
lot easier to do.
Well, I think there are trucks that we need to replace, Joe.
Okay.
And
Oh, no,
that's-
but all I'm saying is when you do it that way, it'd be good to know which ones you're talking about, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I don't know the shape of, I don't know what other ones are down, I don't know. The one with the brand new motor and transmission should last a
If
while.
we followed the history that we've had in the past, that's what we've normally done, so.
Did you do it?
Nah,
Just like that.
How much
300,000 lost.
did you, is that including if we get increase in ECS? Do we get that?
What, it didn't even
You
come
want
up.
that for me?
It'll probably, yes,
Okay,
probably.
thank you.
Yeah, we'd get it?
I would say, I'll have to wait. See, I'll leave the council over here. Let's do this capital.
Okay.
Do you guys have to, excuse me for a minute, do you have to send out bids, 3 bids?
We have to do a proposal, request a RFP when we do, for a bus, are you saying?
No, bus is fine. I went up to the parking lot, I spent an hour and a half, 2 hours, just walking the parking lot. The middle school parking lot.
Yeah.
The parking lot itself, to me, is fine, it lasts another couple, 3 or 4 years. The road from Wicker Street all the way to the back is a disaster. That should be, and the sidewalk is awful because of the plows. That's certainly not going to be $300,000.
We did a proposal, just one, to get a feel for it. We have not put it out. But that, I believe that's on a state bid site too, that, I believe that's the way it is, Mr. Chairman.
I mean, is that, on a website, or someone actually come stick their nose and look?
Oh, we actually had somebody come down and measure and give us I guess the best way to say it is an estimate until we put it out. We'd have to put it out for bid. With that much money, we would put it out for bids.
So, Doug, can you go over those line items, please, that
Sure.
you're keeping?
So what I did is, I did not include anything for equipment replacement.
Okay,
But on the road construction, I included the road reconstruction
Yep.
item,
300.
all 5 years of it. On the bridge replacement, I just included the Recreation Park Road Bridge and the Woodstock Avenue Bridge, so that goes out 4 years total.
Mhm.
3 years on the Recreation Park and then 3 years on Woodstock Avenue. I did not include the paint for
Right.
the bandstand. I did include the $100,000 for the Quinebaug Regional Tech Park Development Cost Planning.
Mhm.
I did not include the $7,500 for the town website.
Mhm.
And I did not include any of the infrastructure costs for in the out years for the tech park or any of the Providence Street escape projects.
So what do you have on the Board of Ed?
On the Board of Ed, I have 178, I only have the 367,000 for the parking lot repair. I did not include the vehicles.
On the economic development, the 100,000, what's that for?
Those are the planning those are the development costs related to,
It's actually,
for planning, environmental and legal work that's done for the remainder of the tech park that's beyond the 62-acre Wheelbury property. So that's the main thrust.
are any of the folks who are going to benefit from that, who South Putnam, going to pay for any of that?
Yes.
Depends on how you set things
Set
up.
them.
Yeah.
But is there some, we're paying for our 64, that's certainly ours, we're going to pay for the blinds and what have you, and this and that, but, how's
You'll
that,
charge
how's that going to get?
You'll charge a fee.
Yeah, but, okay.
Okay.
Well, you'll charge a fee to hook up, that's what it is.
I don't know.
I know when to leave it alone.
I have misgivings on 367, on 367,000 for the middle school parking lot.
Well, but there's no, I mean, but, you know, it's putting it in, again, you know, we're going to, I mean, I don't, you know, whatever anybody thinks, I think that before they spend the money, whoever's spending it should be a lot, I mean, should be getting solid bids with comparable, not just could be, should be, maybe, you know, what have you. And if you think it's just the road, then
Yeah,
how
it
much
should
is
be.
just the road?
And sidewalks.
Sidewalks, okay.
The only problem is that when you go out to bid, you're spending money, which means you have to put an ad in the newspaper, and you have to do all the other things that are involved with putting the project out to bid. So normally, even in our case, we normally don't go out to bid until we know we have some money available.
If I may,
Yes, you may.
I mean, if you gave us, we would do what we could do if you gave a certain amount of money. You know, up and including. We thought the parking lot was one of the ones, the middle school parking lot especially, needs to be done. Was the bet, when we brought people in, they said that was the one that had to be done.
The upper two parking lots up there, those are fine.
No, I mean the one around the building and then heading out.
Okay.
Okay.
The road is a disaster.
Yeah, right, and it's gonna need to be done eventually anyways, because we're gonna lose it eventually.
And the sidewalks.
Yes, I agree.
So what if we just do that? What if we just do the road
I
going
mean,
out and the sidewalk?
we can come back to you, I can, you know,
Yeah, we'll
if
give
you
you the budget up.
direct me to do something,
We have to get this budget up today.
yeah.
You know, one of the, which has nothing to do with what we're doing now, and everything to do, but it speaks to what Bill's talking about. I mean, this is a tough way to do a budget. I mean, you know, we're sitting in here, you know, you two guys, Bill's saying, three people here, trying to figure out a 20-some-odd million dollar budget, of which 16's a gimme. But the rest of the stuff, and whether or not postage should go up, or microfill should do this, and what should they do with regards to the road, and I mean, there's no process that we're working here with the budget coming out at such a late date. Nobody ever we can't look at it before then, and nobody sits down, and I don't mean in one of those big rooms. This is just better like it is right here, and ASPO Select. You know, $7,500 for tires. I mean, how come that's up $3,000 from last year? Will they all go bald or what? I don't know. I mean, you know,
Well, we don't know what vehicles he's planning.
I mean, we don't know, and, you know, we're cutting money arbitrarily from it, and we don't know if we're cutting meat, bone, or tendon.
On a 367, if that's necessary, why don't we move part of it out, not get it all in 2013, 2014?
Well, yeah, I
If
think
you're gonna do the project though, you're gonna do it once and get the best dollar.
Best deal for best buck
Best
for the
buck
buck.
for the.
So if it goes out to bid, we'll say a 3 whatever the hell it is.
367.
And it comes in a lot lower. Say it comes in at 250.
And we don't
Then
spend it.
where does that other money stay? Stays it in that?
it doesn't get spent.
Doesn't
You
get
don't
spent.
take it out, you
We
never
don't take it out.
borrow it out of the loan.
We don't borrow it
It's
out of the
approved,
But who
it's only
manages it?
approved as far as a capital
It's
plan.
on the town side.
Yeah, it's on, for that project, that's on the town side. We would do what we told you we would do.
So it would be Jerry that would be, I'm saying that, I don't know if that's true, but I assume it'd be Jerry that is generally, and whoever manages the bid, it would be him again, and, you know, SAS would be, you know, what have you, and, you know, guys next door.
The thing that it benefits you is because you're doing it all in the first year, which is the
Right,
928,000.
I understand
The
that.
first year payment that you would have on that borrowing is only 98,000.
So that goes to the taxpayers.
So if you roll that over and you don't spend 367,000 in your second year, which if you roll that over, it's going to be, if you, the second year with 10-year plan, it's 144,000. If you don't spend that 367, you're going to reduce that 144,000.
Right. But my thing is this, I think the school eventually, it's going to be proactive, is going to need more pavement. If it comes in low, will it stay in the line item for pavement of the high school?
We could, yes.
That's what I'm saying.
What we would do, what the board would do with your permission is say, look, we did what we said we had done, we have, let's say, $100,000 left over. We would come back to you, we can't spend your money without your permission, and say, what, do you want it to come back, or do you want us to go for another so many feet?
Okay.
You know, you control that.
I just want to make sure, because I think it should say, that's a good.
You know, the way we're looking at it, it's one pot of money. It's the town of Putnam's money. It's not the Board of Ed's money. It's not the town's money. It's one big pot of money together.
That's the beauty of this 5-year capital plan, is that you get to roll these items over
Paula was
from
very
year to
nervous
year
to
to
do
year.
that.
Huh?
Paula was very nervous and kind of laid back to do what you're doing right there.
Well, the only thing that I want to, there's certain things that I want to point out. First of all, this account, as you know, was set up for this specific purpose, that when the ash landfill closed and was, finally covered, that the life of the landfill is expected to be, we have about 15 years left. The expectation should be is that we make that 4 million or whatever will be in the future by the time that landfill closed, we make that fund whole. So by going out only 10 years, we're in good shape to, recover that and get it so that it will be whole.
Right.
When it's expected that the landfill might close in 15 years from now. But as you know, we're working on other things, but we have to be cautious. The other thing is, as I mentioned earlier, is that I did this based on what the short-term investment fund is at the state of Connecticut right now, which is about 1 or less than 1%. I would want the provision, as it was approved at the town meeting, if you decide to go this approach, that we go by whatever the annual stiff rate is, and however that is figured in terms of the amortization.
Whatever is adjusted.
So if it's 1 to 3%, then, it's not going to be that great, but, we should be paying ourselves back and not losing any money. Because we made, last year on the ash landfill, we made almost $9,000 in interest.
So, I mean, it's probably going to run between 1 and 2.
Yes.
Based on what I see right now.
Well, who would attack that?
Excuse me?
Who would attack
Oh,
that?
let me guess.
Who beside Peter? But,
No, Peter didn't.
But where,
I don't think
but
so.
I forgot what you said.
Well, you could bond this, and we go out to the public market, and you're going to be paying
You're paying-
bond costs.
If
And,
you're gonna set up for that guy, the guy last Monday's gonna want his piece of the action twice.
What we did with the roof, I think, and pay
Yeah,
ourselves back,
that's right.
that's fine.
Yeah.
Where are the buses and the trucks, where is that?
Okay. What I did with the buses and the trucks, and this was my thinking, and you can,
We'll yell, yeah.
I took all the vehicles in this 5-year plan, and I took the dump trucks 3, front end loader, the street sweeper, and I put in 6 buses, and that came to $1.3 million.
6 buses,
Yeah, that's over the 5-year period.
And that was 1 million?
Did we get the van to bring the
1,000,003.
one girl to Willamette?
I'll get you my escape to do that. And I've been talking with Nancy, and again, with Jerry not being here, I would like to talk to Jerry about doing a lease, either lease purchase or lease return, whatever the thing is. And, I don't know what that will be. It's usually a 5 to 7 year term lease. And I know, there's been, reluctance to do that because you're paying more in interest costs, but if you're not getting the vehicles anyways and you're paying more, it's sort of like one of those things you should do a cost-benefit analysis. If you're paying so much to rebuild engines and you've got this amount of interest costs over here and you get a brand new vehicle, you should make those determinations. But, again, to your point, we're really too far down the road here.
But Doug, you've got 2710, okay?
Yeah.
In these amortization schedules, the highest you go is 1552. I'm sorry, 1764, 654.
Right. There's 1 year that's missing.
So what we're trying to do is to establish a mill rate that's 1 or below. And with that, we're not going to get there, even at going over 10 years. What I found out was, if you take the last one,
Yep.
1764, that's going to take you like 30 mils, so you could go technically for 10 years on that. Now, I don't know what you have for $2,710,000 because you didn't give us
What I had is the fourth year would be 367,000, and the fifth year was 350,000. So I was thinking that the most you would be paying is, if over a 10-year period with interest, you would be paying 300,000. The highest that you would get to over the 10-year period would be 300,000.
How can, I don't understand, you gotta help me out, because at 1,764,654, your interest rate is $90,437.
Right.
So how can it be 300,000? It can't be 300.
That's spread out over the 10 years.
Yeah, that's out for the 10 years.
Right, that's spread out over 10 years, at 90,437.
Yeah, so how can it be 300,000?
No, I'm talking about 1 year payment, it's going to be 300,000, including your interest.
Okay.
At the highest level, when you have spent the 2.7 million over
you're
that
saying
5-year
payments. You're
period,
saying the payments.
Right.
The payments.
the highest you're going to pay with interest is approximately going to be about $300,000.
Let me, you know,
And again, that's going to be in your 5th year and then out. But then you're going to be paying back that account, so you could be,
I understand, we're doing two different, like, I'll use the word bonds. One is for 928,000.
one is non-vehicular.
Okay, so that's that 928,000, right? Okay, and what's the vehicular is?
It's 1.3 million. If you take all 5 years, all the vehicles,
We'll just put it together.
and put them together.
So the 2.7 includes that?
No, the 2.7 does not include vehicles.
you know, again, not to talk to people who have left us, but Paula, you know, like anathema with the idea of doing it this way. And basically, her thought was, and certainly it's a good point, is that sounds good tonight in 2013, 2015, you know, you got to put, some other bridge needs to go in, you know, you've got to buy 6 of these, 2 of those, and whatever it is, and all of a sudden you begin piggybacking this stuff on top of other stuff, and now it gets really expensive because that 5-year plan still has to get, it's in there. So now you've got a 5-year plan, and in 2015, you've got this, you know, you have whatever the problem is that you don't know sitting here this evening. What do you do about it? And then it gets really expensive when you start jumping them all up. When you do it, and you know, when you do it on a 1-year basis and you say we're going to buy 2 school buses, we know we're buying 2 school buses. I don't know what 2015, do you need an additional 2 school buses? I'm not talking about, you know, whatever it may be. Do you need a truck that we have at 150,000, a small one, or come to find out those small ones weren't very effective in the snowstorm, and really you should have a couple of good sized ones floating around when you're going to do Kennedy Drive and some of these other things where you got to push two lanes width. Will that small truck do it? I don't know, but we're dealing with stuff we don't know like we know it, and we don't.
And that's a good point you make. That was one of the very things I was afraid of, is exactly that point. Is here we are, we're starting on year 1, we know what we want. Down 5 years down the road, it may change drastically. Just exactly what he mentioned. That's why I'm in favor, I like this process of borrowing from ourselves, but I don't think we should throw everything at it the first time around.
That's your decision. I'm just giving you my
That's my own opinion. You can take it out over 3 years instead of 5 years. You see what I'm saying? And then that doesn't, we still can the next year or the year thereafter go for another one.
Yeah. Because you need an ambulance at about $200,000.
Well, it's all going to be more than that.
Well, that's the whole point.
What's his name bought one that cost almost $400,000 when it was all said
The
and
last
done.
one we bought was about $170,000.
Yeah, wow, that's changed. That's 7 years
The
ago.
ambulances have become so expensive. Woodstock right now is taking one of their ambulances out of service. There's a company located at Eastford that refurbishes that ambulance from top to bottom.
That's Bowen. Bowen's garage, that's his boy.
Yeah, and my
Up
cousin,
the road by the, what?
and my cousin works on the ambulance.
Right up by the elementary.
Saves them a substantial amount of money.
Yeah. Well, they're basically ER rooms in some ways now.
But
But
I guess,
that's gonna change
you know,
the numbers
with what
here,
this
right?
is
It's gonna increase
it's,
or do you need me?
No,
You're not gonna
it
have
plants a
$90,000.
seed of opportunity. It plants some additional thoughts to what we can do
I don't need
I
it.
can tell you
with what
that
money we have.
on the 176.
It reduces the burden, you know,
It's gonna be like a 23 mil.
instead of a 1 or a 2 year
That's
period
what it's
to
gonna end up.
a few years
So
down the road.
That's what we could hear.
Makes it maybe a little bit more palatable to the community.
I don't know if you got the same questions.
That's.
You know, the medical thing,
one of the questions too, Peter,
the reasons we're running that, the way the state's budget's going, doesn't lose $11 million.
I mean, is this readily
If
saleable
they lose
or is
11
it
million,
not?
and the
In the
largest
price of
employer
what we're
with the
doing.
county.
You
How's
know
that
how
affect
it can get to
being in high
be,
school?
Won't affect it at all.
shouldn't do that,
Who
shouldn't do
teaches
this. I
Our
don't
own
know.
teachers.
I don't,
It's
first
not,
time,
you're
I
not
never
teaching
put an
medical,
email.
you're teaching
I
higher
don't
level sciences,
know
which
what
we
it
already
says. So
do.
we just as well off
And then
borrowing
You've
from
answered the
ourselves
questions that I'll,
for
Does not
full
affect
price
it
plus
whatsoever.
David said, it
pay
sounds like it's
2%
gonna
on
be
it
like a,
for whatever number it
internship kind of
is.
thing.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
I
an
haven't
internship,
figured it
job
out
shadowing.
and say, well, we
Right.
made,
You know,
Good.
study
we're
of
gonna put $20,000
All
in
in-house.
our pocket
all in-house.
okay.
in the
Okay.
bank
Yeah,
for the
I like
service
it.
of doing
Thank
it?
you.
Or do we pay that same, 1.17% to whoever it is, plus once or twice, we gotta pay these fees,
For ECS.
handling fees, and
We
all
have
this
no
other stuff,
intention
which
to
is probably
give it to you.
$20,000 when it's
We
all
have
said
no
and done.
intentions of giving it
Right.
to you.
And we're not getting it.
It wasn't, yeah, I didn't even
It's our
discuss
money,
it.
why don't we use it, we're good to
When's
pay
that
it
money come
back,
in?
we're our own AAA.
Well, you mean under the governor's proposed budget shift,
Yes.
so we don't know if that's gonna happen to begin with.
ECS, no, the ECS money.
ECS
Yes,
money.
yes, but-
They're supposed to vote on something today. The Education Committee, do you know?
I don't know.
They came up with.
but that's, what do we do, what do you do with it right now, though? I don't know.
What if we could get that number down to like this 176,465?
Still a possibility,
That's
yes.
what
Okay, that's all I need.
Okay, have a nice day.
See you Monday.
300,000, I'm still smiling, so. It could be worse, that's what I look at.
So you want to have
Thank you. Have a good
180,000.
holiday.
Huh?
You'd want to have
Yeah,
180,000 each year.
I'm sorry, Peter, I didn't catch you said get the number down to,
They're available.
1,764,654. That would leave you the ability to go out and borrow from ourselves that money with roughly a 3.3 mill rate. What I'm trying to do is achieve what he's trying to do, is to get our mill rate at 1 or below that. And if we do that at 2,710, we're not going to be able to do that.
No.
That's the problem.
Could I interrupt all you guys for now? Let's just look at where we stand right now before the cap. With the Board of Ed now. I got more pretty numbers and papers here. So we got the library board budget. Get your calculator going, son.
Okay.
The library board budget is 447,979. Is that correct?
Yeah.
447,979. The Board of Ed budget is now 16,459,979.
447,
979.
979, yes.
Okay, Board of Ed,
Yeah.
16,459,911.
Yeah.
General government, 4,284,985. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So what's that give you a total?
$21,192,875.
21,900, what?
192,
192,
875.
875, okay. Now, what would that, how does that compare to last year's three budgets? You have that somewhere, I know you do.
Yeah, I do.
Probably close.
Isn't it close?
What?
So I think we have to get that just down to see how we do this, see what the mill rate is.
Is that with the approved budget?
go to the approved budget for this year, right now, hold on. I got the school board budget in front of me. I want to see all three total up to. If we're a small town.
Man, we spent a lot last year.
What was I trying to tell you? We spent 370 something.
For a small town of 8,500 people, we got all these papers. What do they do in Bridgeport? What do they do in Hartford?
Oh, they come on computers.
I don't want to ever go there.
Those are your hunting grounds, right, down in Bridgeport now?
I got 21 years of my life I lived there. That's
Look what it did for them.
I'm a bad boy from Bridgeport. It made me tough.
You know,
Part of the market,
I went,
yeah.
this afternoon, I had to get out and see, down the Board of Assessors office, I see. I mean, I tell you, you want to see a sad-looking outfit back there. I mean, there's no heat. It's cold. You could see where the pipe burst on the ceiling. I mean, God.
Unbelievable.
And we're putting $2 million offices in.
He was okay with the 300.
21 million,
Oh, it's gonna be 21 million. Yep.
403,289,
The difference?
the difference. Oh, I don't know what the difference is.
That's your total.
It's about $200,000 difference over last year. So that's not even up.
But that's with all the capital last year.
This is.
Oh, that's with the capital. Holy shit. Okay.
Doing fine.
Yeah, we're doing good. All right, so what can we do to get this up to about $1 million? How much capital do you need to get this up to $1 million? About $800,000.
$800,000. There's your 982.
There you go, there it is. But no buses,
No
trucks.
Yeah, but you get both bridges.
Okay, both.
Where's the Woodstock Avenue Bridge? Where the heck is
It's
it?
over by Peak Brook Road, going out to Woodstock. You take that left, and that's Woodstock Avenue.
Is that our bridge?
That's our bridge.
Oh, I didn't know.
Well, we
Same
can
thing
let,
with
we
Peter.
can let Woodstock.
But you could do that, what was that figure, Tony, you were saying?
What's the matter
We
with
need
that
about
bridge?
$800,000 to do it.
Yeah, so do that over 10.
It looks like a nice bridge.
Have
Is
you
though.
that over 10?
So the
1
nine-
mil?
the nine-
That's 289?
Well, that'll be less, because that's not the number you're gonna, the tax.
Remember,
you're gonna
it's
pay.
only like .16 or something like that for doing it over 10 years.
So no, what do the voters get presented with? They're not getting presented with $900,000.
No.
So what would their number be?
Well, they're going to, I would think the voters would want to
Well,
know
900,
what it is.
928, it's going to be 98,000.
98,000. So it won't even,
That's
it'll
over
be
10.
That's over
half a
10
mil.
years.
Over 10
Half a
years.
mil. For next year.
Well, when they come to the general government, and I agree, I have no argument with anybody saying, when they come to the general government budget, right off the bat, I mean, the non-recurring thing, capital thing, they're going to want to know what it is that million number is.
I got it right here.
I know, but I'm not saying you don't have it.
Oh.
They're going to want to know what that is, and, someone's going to say,
What's included in it?
yeah, what's included in it?
And it's right here on this big sheet.
I agree, but I don't,
So Doug will have to do a nice job explaining what's included. They're gonna buy it or they're gonna vote against it. It's simple as
I'm
that.
agreeing with it.
There you
And-
go.
But that's how, that's all going to go. I mean, I have a problem not putting some of this, the school buses are old. I'm not too sure we need another dump truck right now. I'm sure Jerry would, and I don't think we need
It's
that.
a low profile dump truck.
I think it
What
replaces
it-
the 94.
Well, I'm sure there's a
Good
great
example.
reason for it. I don't, what have you. I don't know why we buy Bobcats and leave them out all winter. Just leave them there. Somewhere along the line.
Use the armory, store them in the armory.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Find a tarp and put it over it.
That was my suggestion prior to
But
talking
you know,
with the
you're
water
only
pollution
going
control
10
authority.
years.
My
was
wife's
start
suggestion
to utilize
is
that building
use the
right
library,
97,550.
use the armory for school buses and trucks that you need to keep.
I need about $25,000, $30,000 for the entryway into the armory, which would allow them access to have those vehicles all the
How
time.
much they want for that?
25, 30 is what I heard. What I've heard.
Who the hell
That's
is
what I'm
What
saying.
they did is they blocked off the old.
I know that. I remember being there in the '80s, and what have you, on the armory floor, doing the thing.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
You know, they had big doors, I mean, but I don't know that they need, you know, doors
That's
big
one of
enough
the
to
things
put dump
bonding
trucks
gives
in
you
it.
the opportunity
Well, I
to
think
do
that was
that.
one of the goals.
Yeah, I know,
You're
but
only
you can
getting
make it,
1%.
Even if we were
and you gotta
on
cover the
that.
floor when you
And
do
add it
that.
up 10 months. I'm
We
sorry,
have to clean the place up a little bit, Joe.
I don't,
10 years, and it came to 9.7, and all the payments,
I think some of that
and everything else.
work real well, doing exactly what
By
you're
paying
saying.
8,129.66,
8,129. Point.
66.
Yep.
And so if you do that over 10 years,
You know, I get something.
but you don't really have to do that over 10 years, you do just a year,
Gross.
which is 12 months,
Yeah,
And they have
Yeah,
these
what?
buildings
97 something.
98 something,
Yeah,
that they.
97.56.
That they
that's
put
right.
up.
So that's really the true amount that would be charged for. We're talking mill rate now.
Okay.
It really isn't 928, it's what you're gonna be paying over the first 10 year, for that year. And you're only gonna be paying like 0.5, 0.15, 0.16 mil of a mill. That's all.
Well, yeah, and you're already down from your other calculations.
Oh,
You see what I'm saying?
so we're lower than what we projected?
Yeah, by doing that, so it affords you, if you wanted to go a little further, I don't know where we are right now with the total number now. What is our total
So
number?
what you're saying is, I hope I'm reading you right, get a bus, get a truck, get something else.
We might be able to do that, is what I'm trying to say.
That would be great.
So I want to see what his number
Okay.
comes up here. I know I did the calculations at home on the mill rate, it would,
I agree with Joe, we gotta get a bus, or at least one bus.
yeah.
I think you do too.
You too, sorry. I just don't wanna go into that town meeting and say, you have a 2 mil increase. They'll be throwing stones at my house.
Well, that's good. Just sport.
21,290,000, you're still down.
For what, add what to that?
You added a bus.
I didn't add the bus, I just added the 97.
What do they get for
Why
one
add a
bus?
One bus is about 90 grand.
85,000 per bus.
2 million what was that?
21,290,435, that's with the 97,560.
And one of the
And the
things
bus?
built into Jerry is that pickup truck, that's 25,000 that's in there already.
21,380,435, you're still down.
How about 2
That's for the
buses?
bus?
Add in the
So what is your total number now?
21,380,435.
Yeah, in mill rate, in a mill rate.
I'm sorry.
It's about the same,
About the same, doesn't change much.
doesn't change
Nothing
much.
change. Add a truck.
At a truck.
Another truck?
Well, see, it's in the budget, it's in the thing,
How much is the truck, 140?
150,
140.
140? By the time you do
Actually, I think we
something.
bought a truck last year for a...
Well, now you're over, 21,520. You're over 120,000.
So, but what does that equate to a mill rate increase?
How much you say? Not even one.
120,000?
That's what, 640 is a mill.
49, yeah.
So 640, 1.5 tops. So they're going to clip you, I mean, you probably, you know, it's going to get, someone's going to say, or make a suggestion, and if you ask for 2, maybe,
I think you need to get at least, what are you gonna pay? 1 or 2 buses?
I'd like to see them get rid of the program that requires you to bring one person back and forth to Willimantic for 182 days on a 60 passenger bus.
You can't control that.
I'm gonna get Joe pissed off even further. Do you know that the school board uses limousine service to transport students?
Don't go there,
Don't
Tony.
even, really?
Limousine. Bob Kaminsky.
A van, you
Don't even go there.
No, a town car.
Town car.
You kidding me?
Do I have a speech?
But I know who he's talking about, it's a town car.
I know who Kaminsky is.
Yeah, I was,
His father would be rolling.
he took me to the airport. So you start bullshitting, blah, 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 blah. And my wife said, how's school count? Yeah.
Is that in the budget?
So let's.
How much time do you need to get this thing published?
I am up against, because we are going to public hearing.
Because we're throwing a lot of
Public
numbers
hearing
tonight, I want
here.
to make sure that I'm clear tonight.
Public hearing is here.
10th?
Yes, it has to be published.
5 days before.
2, 3, 4. Well, it's gonna
You
be
count the
published.
weekday?
It's gonna be.
Can't count the day of the heated
You can
hearing,
count the day of,
Right.
or the day it's published, but not both.
not both.
So, 1, 2,
Four.
3, 4, 5, which means it would have to come out somewhere here.
4 or 5.
Now, Linda's deadline to get it out somewhere here is tomorrow.
No, we're not gonna.
You're not gonna do that.
So we are,
I'd like you to have one special meeting before,
Yeah.
maybe
and if
Monday
you
night.
put this in the
with the
Norwich
selectmen.
Bulletin, you're gonna quadruple the cost.
Yep.
Because you have to publish all the numbers, so you're talking quadruple the cost to put it in the bulletin
Oh,
versus.
Okay,
in the-
we
But
can-
it is what it
We
is
can have one meeting
sometimes.
Monday.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be at night, you can have it right, you know,
You can have right before our meeting,
what time's your meeting?
7.
Second.
Yeah, you guys will make it
Sure.
at like 5:30, 6 o'clock?
Okay, just let me make sure I
Oh, you
know
want
what
the,
you
do you
want.
want the
You see where
right?
I'm coming from?
Yeah, I-
How do we set the time
That's
if
all
we
you're
do it,
spending.
if we have that meeting
See,
on Monday?
even though the
change-
the total
change
number,
this to the
you can't
time?
look at the total
No,
number.
you can't.
It's what you're expending.
That's when
expenses.
she
Yeah.
puts the paper to bed.
Okay.
All right, we'll give you the full paper Monday. We gotta get these numbers, I agree with Doug. My head's spinning
So
right
we
now.
pay what we gotta pay.
So Tony, what we're saying, what are we saying? With that, everything, we're, what, about a mil, or
No, we're not that.
Oh,
not, half a mil?
half, somewhere in
Not
there.
even a half.
So that's
About
why
a
you-
quarter.
A quarter.
Get that.
Get the
Okay.
two
It shouldn't get much of a
buses, get
turnout.
a truck,
We could-
What are we getting now?
How
get
many buses?
two school buses,
2 buses,
get the low profile.
low profile.
What else other thing you want in there?
That's about it.
Get a bushwhacker or something.
Let's not go over half then,
So
Tony.
how many are you writing down for 2 buses?
90,000 each.
It's
So
180.
it's 180. And then you add this to the 928, is that what we're doing?
No,
No.
I've already
We're
been
way
the
past that.
10,
Okay.
the payment,
Right.
1 year of the 10-year payment for the 928.
And Denise, can you do what I asked you to do, like the police do? Get one sheet of paper, last year's budget, this year's budget, mill, .0405, then at the bottom says, total mill increase, .78.
Denise, oh.
Yeah,
So, I mean, that's
Questions
what
at
makes
once.
this so
But on the
great, is
scoreboard,
because of the 1%.
If we do it Monday. what will the
Otherwise, you're
public
going
hearing
2.5,
be?
3, you can't do it.
if we
But
do
over
it
a
Monday,
year, it's
when would
even
the
better.
public hearing doesn't change, it's the 10th.
That's
Yeah,
like when I
one
said,
way or
I
the
looked
other,
at it
right?
again, and I did the math twice, and it was .15 of a mil.
Too many conversations, all right.
And that's taking,
Okay,
Yeah, the
we're locked in the 10th one way or the other,
Yeah, we
regardless of
can't-
when it gets put out.
Right.
The question is how much money will it cost to put it out, that's
So-
it.
Yeah,
right?
You're not locked in the 10th.
You're talking hundreds, or you're talking?
Public hearing doesn't have to be the
No,
10th?
it could be on the 17th. The only reason we've always done this is because of the school
School
vacation.
vacation.
School vacation.
So if we get
Then you
it,
go out to the,
all right, we go to the 11th, you go one day, if that's
you
what
go to
it
the
takes.
17th.
Yeah,
let's get it done on Monday.
well, yeah, I'm not
All right,
saying,
she's talking about the public
no,
hearing.
I'm not talking about that. But if we do it on Monday, and then, you know, we certainly can get it to her some day in the week or what have you, do it on the 17th.
Well, I have to check with, well, yeah.
Does it have to be a Wednesday?
Bonding rate.
No. No,
No,
you're
it's
right.
always
But
been.
we've got the.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be a Wednesday.
You know, we should have done, what?
It doesn't have to be a Wednesday.
No, it doesn't.
The pick,
Whatever the day, we have, what do we need, 10 to
The other
15
meeting.
on the town meeting?
Well, there's so many days before the town
Before,
meeting, the
yeah.
numbers have to be, and the town meeting is set, so everything is predicated on backing up from May 9th, I think it is, this year?
We had added the middle school parking lot into the project.
May 8th, everything is predicated on May 8th.
Wednesday.
The only thing is not.
And you back up from there, because the
Right.
second
I checked
Wednesday in
that.
May, by charter, has to be the annual town meeting.
Okay, so we can do that public fight. I mean, if we can't do it on the 10th, you do it on the 11th. You can
And
do it
then,
on the 16th,
Well,
15th.
this is school
17th.
vacation, so that's why we've always stayed off that week.
What?
Yeah.
This is school vacation, that's why we've always stayed off that week.
I mean, there's no rule that says you gotta do that,
Right,
is
there's not
there?
enough people there.
I mean, you
Joe can
know,
run the meeting, I won't be here, Joe can run the meeting. You can stay, Mark.
They got the full, they got the full
Now
week?
you tell us.
yeah, they're off from the 15th.
They are?
Yeah. It is what it is.
But we're just talking about.
I'm just saying, we've always never scheduled it during the school vacation. Because you always have these budgets where you think you want to have the, you know.
And nobody shows.
And nobody shows.
If Linda knows, if she has an idea of what size is coming, she can hold that space.
I would say do it why can't we do it the 12th, Friday?
Well, that doesn't make any Oh, well, when does
The
she
Friday
have,
before school vacation?
So what?
I mean,
on the side?
All right, do it on, do
Yeah.
it Monday, let's do it the 16th, 17th, Joe's
16th's good.
perfectly capable of handling
Well, I gotta talk to Dan.
You going on
who's
vacation?
available.
like hell you are.
that. St. Martin's side, they're calling me.
Nothing's easy here.
I have
What
to,
was there were other meetings.
there's another meeting
There's a
tonight.
there's a town meeting on the
Right, I got them all.
9th.
9th, that's his present to school.
Referendum for the 23rd.
We have a town meeting on the 9th, a public hearing on the 10th, the 23rd is the referendum. We also have a town meeting on the 15th, so we're back at the middle school with the Board of Selectmen meeting and a town meeting on the 15th.
What's that about?
That is blight,
What?
blight,
Blight.
Blight?
Blight.
blight.
Billy Blight.
Like Billy,
You're
what?
You're confusing.
Town meeting on blight.
Is that Mr. and Mrs.?
The school, and then the school,
I came here to clear head, I'm schoonad right now, Italian.
Let's shoot for the 10th and go from there.
Yeah.
so we want to have a meeting before the Board of Selectmen meeting on Monday.
Right.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock?
6
So you
o'clock?
basically have put to bed all the budgets.
Yep.
The only
That's it.
thing we want to make sure is that,
Get the numbers.
in terms of the numbers.
Yeah,
That's for you.
That's your job.
And I will prep,
So-
I'll prep Linda.
Yes,
so she
prep
knows.
Linda. I don't want to prep.
And we'll
all
shoot
the
for the
rest.
10th.
Could you make us a little cheat sheet?
Yeah,
so
we're
we
gonna
can
do that.
understand it?
So-
That was the thing I asked.
So what we're saying is Monday, this coming Monday?
Yes.
Okay.
7th, what time are you going to meet?
April
6?
Fool's Day.
6, okay? That shouldn't,
Fine,
that shouldn't
that
be.
should take us.
That shouldn't take you
Yeah,
long.
it shouldn't
So
be.
that's
And that'll get you warmed up for the
First.
selectmen's meeting.
Ooh, ready to go.
first,
See, Tony,
that's
the
it.
difference
bad
is
things
that
happening.
doing borrowing.
One thing.
Another-
But,
But we're going to have to
That
do
gives
that.
us a lot.
but Peter,
Down to
I mean,
1%.
the
And
two
get your bonding
buses
rate
and that,
once we
I
have
mean,
high
you're,
school.
you
So
know,
we're
saying to him,
going to
yeah,
some
you
history
didn't get
once
your
we
three,
go off the
but,
bonding
you know, we're
rate.
giving you 180
Yeah.
in buses. Wait a minute, you know, what
What's
are
the
you talking about?
ECS?
And the other part is, Joe, they need to talk about the
They
buses.
gave us extra ECS money this year, and he wants it all.
We
No,
have
no,
122,000 in ECS money that,
No,
I can't plan on giving that because truthfully, we don't know how the budget's gonna shake down.
Right.
So if he's depending on $122,000, that's the wrong way to look at it, as far as I'm concerned.
Where did I get 64?
And if I take $122,000 out of my budget,
He
I'm
lives just-
$122,000
Only
short.
cut 300,000, I'm happy. Yeah, I know.
I
I know.
know.
That was,
But I really feel bad about the police officer because it's something that I don't believe in it unless you have 10 of them.
But the purpose of the school resource officer is not for protection.
It's not protection.
That's not the point.
Right, I understand that, but it just,
so much more.
It just gives you that sense.
The sense of
That's
security.
It's relationships.
is there any more business to go
So
before
if I was
this?
somebody, I'd say,
Make a
drop
motion
down
to
there,
adjourn.
I'm going to go up here.
Second by Kathy Joel Johnson, all
I'm
those in
sorry,
favor of
what
adjournment?
happened?